Hello everybody, this is Justin the Snap-on Junkie back at you. Okay, this is the video on does Snap-on make the best wrenches out there. Okay, so what I did is I went out with my own money and I bought every different type of half-inch wrench that I could get my hands on. I mean, I bought everything and I got a variety of stuff here. Okay, and what I did is I found out where they were all made. Okay, so here's the different wrenches that I bought. Okay, right here in this section. Here is their price. Okay, this is where they're all made. Okay, and this is like how much they weigh on the, like on a gram scale, because that's a good unit of measurement. This is how big the opening is. Okay, that means like where you would put it on the bolt. This is the head thickness. You know what I'm saying? If you can see this chart here. Okay, so I made this chart up, and what I did is I bought some measuring equipment that I didn't have just to try to finish this up. Fuck. So I was trying to find the most accurate way that I could measure this stuff. So I got a big variety of wrenches, and we're going to go in and talk to them about like what they weigh, and then we're going to do some demonstration stuff to kind of show you what you're really paying for when you buy these different style wrenches and how much they all cost. So I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. I don't know how long it's going to take me. This is probably going to be a pretty lengthy video, but I'm going in depth so you guys out there can really understand that I thought about this for a long time. Like, I'm trying to show you, yeah, the Snap-on stuff's expensive, but you're really getting what you pay for, not by like, not only their service, but just a little bit of the other things. So then we'll find out if they make the best wrenches, and it also help you decide what you want to spend your money on. So, okay, the first wrench is just a Snap-on, okay, regular 8-inch wrench. Now this is their standard wrench, so some of these wrenches come in different sizes, and we'll get into that. Okay, and it's the non-flank drive one. Okay, and this one weighs 85 grams is how much it weighs. Okay, the fastener opening is 503 thousandths. Okay, the head thickness is 266 thousandths, and the head width here is 1 inch 32 thousandths. Okay, so the beam thickness this way, like how wide the wrench is, and where I measured that is right here on where they branded all the wrenches. Okay, all right, and that is 175 thousandths, so it's 174, close enough. And then I measured the width to compare, and that's 483. So there's the Snap-on one. Okay, I also bought a Williams wrench. Okay. Oh, and the Snap-on, this wrench alone by itself costs $34.50. So this is a Williams wrench. Okay. Again, half-inch wrench. It weighs 102 grams. Okay. And also, this is like the Williams Flank Drive Plus or whatever. It's like the Gripper series. Okay, this one weighs 102 grams. Okay, the opening in here is 506 and a half. The head thickness is 232, and the head width is 1 inch 0400. The beam thickness, okay, is 224, so almost 1/4 of an inch thick. Okay, and the width of the beam again is 460, and it's 8 inches. Okay, and you can tell there's a big discrepancy already in the gram weight from the Snap-on one compared to the Williams one. Okay, now we're going to get into Mac. So I got a Mac wrench. Okay, I got the Knuckle Saver. Okay, again, this is their like Flank Drive Plus type system, whatever. I don't know what these guys fucking call it. Everybody's got a different name. Okay, the Mac wrench is $28. Okay, it weighs 92 grams. Okay, and the head opening in here okay, is 506 thousandths, and the head width is 257. This is an inch 500 or inch 050, basically 049. The beam thickness is 287. So again, the thickness here, okay, and it is almost 500 thousandths wide, 497 to be exact. Okay, and then I bought the Mac Precision Torque, or this is Precision Torque wrench. So this is their newest style. Okay, now this one's made in Taiwan. You can see that it has a T right here stamped in it. Okay, so again, now this one weighs 104 grams. Okay, and then the opening in here is 509 thousandths. So what I'm trying to do is compare a lot of this stuff, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you, you know, I'll put this sheet that I made up there so you guys can, you know, stop and pause it. Okay, I got a Dewalt. Okay, I bought this one, you know, and this weighs 94 grams and it's made in Taiwan. And really the gram thing to me is, it's hard to judge really a good forging, but also how much this thing weighs and how long it is. Like the thicknesses are going to have a little bit to do with that and things like that. So we'll just go on from there. I have a Mako wrench, and again, this is their, you know, kind of the Flank Drive Plus deal or whatever. This wrench is made in the USA, and this one is $30.65 by itself. Then I also have an Armstrong here. Okay, and this again is USA made, and it weighs 91 grams, and the head opening is 506. The Mako is 507. So again, guys, very, very similar on the opening side. Then I went and I got 4 different style Craftsman wrenches. Okay, so I have the high polished, okay, Craftsman wrench here. Okay, this is one of the Chinese ones. You can tell by the big shaped head here. Okay, and this wrench weighs 108 grams, and the width in here is 507. What I found is that they're all pretty much, you know, that 507 to 510. Some of them are. Okay, I bought the USA Craftsman wrench. This one's made in USA. I found this at my Sears, so they still had some left. Okay, this wrench weighs 80 grams, but also you got to remember this is their standard wrench, and it's only 6.5 inches long. Okay, so that's where some of the weight comes from, and also I think their forging is not as dense here. So, and that wrench is $7.98. Okay, here is a China wrench. Again, Craftsman raised panel that everybody has. All right. This one weighs 102 grams. So again, a little bit heavier, and that's because they beefed up some of where the stuff is. And that really has a lot to do with another part that we're going to talk about later. So then I have a USA made professional style, like high polished. Okay. This one is also $9.98, just like the other Chinese one. Fuck. So we can go on there. Okay, the next one is a Duralast. You get these at AutoZone. Okay, and this one weighs 103 grams. Now what's different about this one is, okay, this is another 8-inch wrench, as you can tell, but this opening in here, it grows a little bit to 510 thousandths. Okay, then we move on to Carlisle, which is a Napa brand. Okay, and this is their like flank drive one. It's got grooves and stuff in it. Okay, and it's made in Taiwan too. This wrench is $15.28. So we got that one. Here is another Carlisle. Again, this is their standard wrench. So it's going to be with the non-grooves in there. And this wrench is 7 inches long. So again, ½ inch, an inch difference. And this wrench is 13 bucks. And then I bought a GM Performance Part 1. You get these at O'Reilly's. Okay. This wrench is $7. Okay, then I went to Lowe's and I got Cobalt Wrenches, as you can see here. Okay, these are made in China. Okay, and this wrench is $6.97. And then I went to Home Depot and I got a Husky. Okay, this wrench is made in China too. All right, and this thing is again 7 inches long, and you can see that in between here and here, this is 510 thousandths, and look how thick the head is. Now this wrench, I have it listed as $1 because I couldn't find on their website, how much this stuff is, and I had a set for my house. So what I did is I just took. They have them on sale for $10 for the set, and you get 9 wrenches. So I just did the math and divided it. So that's $1. Okay. Then I went to Harbor Freight and I bought both style of their standard wrenches. I have the raised panel wrench here. Okay. This is from Harbor Freight, and these are made in India. Like, whoa, I did not know that. This wrench is again $2.92 because I just divided how much the set cost. Now this is interesting here. Okay, now I got this wrench and I measured in between here and here. Okay, and it measures out to 498 thousandths. Now when we get to the next part of this video, you're gonna see the quality of this shit that you guys are buying at Harbor Freight. Okay, just remember what I said right there. Okay, and then also I got the Pittsburgh high polished wrench. Okay, and again, this is 6.5 inches. That's their standard length. Okay, and these are made in India. And again, it's $2.22 for these, so $2.25. Okay, then I went to just a regular hardware store, not like the big, like a mom and pop hardware store, and they sold Great Neck. Okay, which I think might be made by SK, but I'm not sure because their sockets have kind of an SK part number on them. So again, this wrench is made in China, okay, and it's 6 inches long. So what we're going to talk about is how these wrenches perform on a hexagon ½ inch bar stock. What I did is I bought 4140 chromoly bar stock, okay, and we're going to put these wrenches on there and then show you about the forgings and how they fail and things like that. So you guys can decide for yourself which is the best wrench, and also, just working on it. So let's move over to that test rig, and then we'll show you some other stuff that I got going on. Okay, so here is the bar stock right here, okay? Now, the first wrench we're going to do, okay, is the Williams wrench. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it on there, okay, so you guys can see this, and then what we're going to do is push on it and see how much torque we get to before we, when we start rounding off this fastener per se. I'm just using the best thing that I could do with. And what you're going to see here, okay, is that these jaws are going to spread out at some point, and that's what really rounds your fastener off. Okay, so let's try this right here. Bam, rounded it off. Okay, and this is like the Williams performance torque, and what you can see is it spreads the jawls apart. Okay, so we're talking about forgings again. All right, so that's the Williams wrench. Now we're going to move on to the Mac Knuckle Saver, okay? And we're going to move it down a little bit so we give it a fair test, okay, next to where we kind of rounded it off. And we'll just push this one. So again, not as much torque as the Williams. Okay, so that's your Knuckle Saver there. Congratulations if you bought this. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Mac Precision Precision Torque Wrench. And again, I'm going to move it down a little bit just to give it a fair shot, so you guys don't think that I'm just fucking with you. And this took a little bit more pressure. Sorry if you know what I'm saying, you guys are moving around. I'm trying to do my best here. Okay, but this one took more than the standard Mac, and it's less. Like this wrench only costs $16.99. This is probably okay. It would not be my choice because it's made in Taiwan, but that's for you guys to figure out. Okay, now we're going to move on to Dewalt, which is basically Stanley, which is basically just a cheaper version of this wrench. And the Dewalt costs $9. Rounded it right off. Again, less pressure. Again, and what this is doing is it's spread these out because the forging is not as good, or the heat treating process. I don't know. So there you guys go. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Matco. All right, there was the Matco. Again, it took a little bit more force than I would say the Dewalt, but not very much. And we're starting to get pretty good rounded off here. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Armstrong. Again, I mean, if you just look at this, very similar to the Matco. You know, this is also going to be part of another video that's going to be coming up with me and Bruce Allen. I'd like to give him a shout out. We're going to be doing a video talking about rebranding. So there you go. Now we're going to put this one on there. And you can see how it's spreading it out. Bam. Slipped right off. Okay. So there's the Armstrong. Now we're going to go to the Craftsman Chinese. I'm going to put it up on here. Okay, and it slipped off there, but it took a lot of force to do that. Probably the reason is that the beam thickness is so wide right here, and it's really thicker material that you're dealing with, but it still rounded it off a little bit. Okay, now we'll go to the Craftsman American USA wrench. Even less, not very much, and you got to remember this wrench is shorter, so if this wrench was longer, you know, it would compound the problem even more. So there you go. Now we're moving on to the Craftsman Chinese here, and you can see we're starting to mess this up a little bit, and it's getting hard to get these on there. Let me just come up over here. Okay. Shit. You guys fell off. Sorry. So, this one took a lot of force to get it to open it up. But what it did was it started to move the material on the wrench in here. So, you know, that's something for in the future to look at. Okay, so there's the Craftsman Chinese. Now we're going to come in to the Craftsman USA made, the old professional style wrenches. Again, not very much force. Okay. Now we're coming into the Duralast here. Again, this is just some cheapo wrench to my opinion, but we'll put it on here and see what we got. Not very much pressure, guys, and this thing came off. So we got that. Now we're going to come into the Carlisle, okay, grippy one, or like the Flank Drive Plus, and we're going to put this on there. I can feel the teeth biting in, and it's really hard to get it to round off. Like I'm putting a lot of pressure. So I would say for Thailand or made in Thailand, this is a pretty good wrench. I would say that, you know, if you were going to buy wrenches for, you know, you didn't want to spend the money of the Snap-on ones, these are the ones that I would probably buy. I like this brand a lot. So there's that one. Now this is the regular one without the grooves, and we'll come over here to where we got a fresh piece. Bam, no grooves, and it didn't take very much pressure to round that off, guys. So there's another wrench. Okay, now we're on to the GM Performance Parts wrench. Okay, let's put that on there. We'll get down here in a fresh piece. Bam. Rounded it right off. This probably isn't a, you know, this isn't bad. It doesn't take very much pressure to round it off, guys. I mean, that's what I'm trying to compare you, because it's weak through here. Like when this spreads open, that's what's helping you round it off. Okay, now let's get to the Cobalt. Even less pressure, and it comes right off there. So if you guys are working on a car or whatever, you know, and you had to use this to get into a tight spot, well, you can't put very much torque on it before it's going to round the bolts off. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So now let's go to the Husky, and I bet this one does a little bit better just on the head thickness. It'll take a little bit more pressure. And it does. But this would be harder to get into a place because it's thicker. But it still kind of rounds it off and gives you a round feeling on this. So now we're going to get into the Pittsburgh raised panel wrench. Now this one is fucking interesting, because I want you to remember when I talked about what the inside diameter of this is. Now this is brand new, out of the box. I went and bought this shit. So now watch this. Even where it's rounded, we're back here, okay, you can't get the fucker on whatever. So Harbor Freight, thanks for this waste of $8. What a fucking piece of shit this fucking thing is. And you should be embarrassed that something brand new out of the box that's sized to 1.5 inches won't even go on 1.5 inch fastener. Fucking ridiculous. So again, we're going to come back to the Pittsburgh here. Okay, now this one, guess what? It fits on there. And the opening is 506. And it rounds it, you know, it rounds it right off. Okay? So there you go. Now we're going to come into this cheap Chinese one, just from your local hardware store. Now I'm going to put that right down here. Again, not very much pressure. Okay, now I saved the Snap-on wrench for the last bit of wrench to show you. So all this stuff is rounded off back here, so I got to come all the way back here. Okay, now I'm going to put it on there. Okay, And I'm trying to put a bunch of pressure on this fucking thing. And I can eventually get it to round out, but I can feel that the jaws are spreading just a little bit, but it's not doing as bad. Okay? And it's getting ready to round off. Now, I mean, I'm putting, you know what I'm saying? So this is what you're paying for. Okay? This is a high quality forging. Now, okay, now remember, the only other one that didn't want to come off, okay, in the rounded section, or it was not even in the rounded section, it was in a really good spot. Now, I'm going to come out here to where you can see that these edges are pretty fucked up. And I'm going to put the Snap-on Flank Drive Plus one on there, okay? And you can see that it's rounded off. Now, watch. Once these teeth bite in, the wrench is not failing because it's not spreading apart, if you will. I mean, I'm putting, fuck, you know, I could probably get a pry bar on this motherfucker and it wouldn't come apart. Okay? So when you're buying these wrenches, guys, you know, and everybody's like, oh, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. Because I don't know about you, but I like my hands. I don't want to break shit off because it costs you more money. Now, yes, this wrench costs you $34.50 to buy. Okay? Now, most of you guys are out there working flat rate, right? If you're working in a dealership or whatever. Okay, and they might give you 4 hours to fix, you know, let's just say whatever it is, a water pump. I don't really know what it is. But if you had to get in there, right, and then with these other shitball wrenches, okay, and all these haters talk that it's expensive, but if you rounded a fucking bolt out in a block, okay, now you gotta fucking fix that before you can bolt the water pump on there. And that may take you an hour. So now you got, let's say, you know, 5 hours in your water pump project. Well, you're only getting paid for 4, right? Okay, so that means that you know, even $10 wrench difference, okay, that you bought, all right, and that a lot of people are real proud of, and they hate Snap-on because it costs so much money here to do all this stuff. But you're saving yourself a whole bunch of money in the long run, because even if you did that twice a year, it would pay for the price of these wrenches, right? You know, and think about that over a 30-year career, how much shit you would round off or fucked up or damage, you know, and really fuck up how much money you're going to make. Now, as we remember before, the other one that stayed on really good was the Carlisle, okay? And we did that in a nice new flat spot. So let's try it on where it's kind of rounded off and see if we can get it to round off or spread open. So again, where it's already rounded, as you can see, trying to hold this thing up there. You can see I moved this all the way around and it fucked up this stuff. And these jaws are starting to get wore out. So the next time you put it on, it's going to round off even easier, guys. Okay? And that's again because we're wearing this metal out because the forging is not as good. Okay? So that's what we're doing. Alright? So I'm just trying to show you, yes, that this stuff is expensive to buy. You know, when you get it brand new and maybe you have sticker shock or whatever. But this is just a little test rig that I came up with. It was the best way to show you. And also, if you guys want to talk about high quality forgings and stuff like that. So what I did is on every wrench, okay, what I did is I took a snap-on 5/8 wrench and I beat on the corners of these wrenches, okay? And a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? Here's the Mac. I beat on them in the same spot. You can kind of see how the wrench gets damaged and dented in. Well, this is the snap-on wrench that I beat on all 19 of these wrenches, okay? And you look at right here, okay? There is little bumps, but it's not as deep and gouged as this shit over here, okay? And I beat on every one of these wrenches with this. So again, when you're talking about that you're buying these wrenches and they're, you know, the whole set's $500, what Snap-on and them are really trying to, you know, why they're the top brand in my opinion, okay, is because this wrench is made to last 30 years, the life of your career, okay? And I know that that sounds fucked up and all this shit, and yeah, I really like Snap-on, but I'm also trying to do this stuff to help you guys make smart decisions. A lot of this stuff, you know, they make, you know, and it's really not to the quality of the Snap-on stuff here, guys. You know, it's really not up to par. So I'm just trying to explain to you and give you this video, you know, and I'm not trying to show you biased opinions, you know what I'm saying? I did this to show you what is high quality shit and what is not. And to kind of build you into this series that I'm doing and showing you a lot of different stuff, okay, about these wrenches and where they're made and how they're made, okay, so we can talk about a rebranding video in the future that me and Bruce Allen want to do, but we're not going to do it till we, you know what I'm saying, get all of our research and done to show you guys that we're not out here just fucking blowing smoke, okay? I mean, this shit is a real difference if you work on cars every day. So, alrighty, you know what I'm saying, let the Snap-on haters hate on, guys, but, you know, I did this video to kind of show you, and I'm going to do socket video next. So we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to measure everything out. You know what I'm saying? I haven't figured out how to use it to show you that it strips fasteners, but sockets are a little bit better just on how they're made. And we're going to talk about wall thickness and all that stuff. So again, here is the sheet, okay? I'm going to put this up here and just let it go for a second. All right, and you guys can pause this and understand all the measurements that I came up with, how I came up with this stuff, what's the price of everything. Okay, and I kind of have it grouped together here and all that stuff so you guys can see this. And again, I'm sorry if you know, I don't have your favorite wrench brand or other wrench brands, but a lot of this stuff, you know, carries over wrench brand to wrench brand. So, you know, it is what it is. And thank you guys for watching my videos and making comments. Just remember, like, you know, subscribe to my channel and comment, guys. It's all right. You know, I'm a big boy. I can take it, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of heat for this video. Like, oh, you set this up and everything. I am leaving this unedited. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do all my videos, they're raw. It's really my opinion. So let the haters hate, and it is what it is. So thank you guys again for watching this video. I know it's really long, but I just wanted to try to go in depth. And there's more stuff that I could show you, but I just doesn't want to, you know, fit it in there. You know, it would take forever. But I'm gonna show you a lot more stuff on the upcoming videos in this series that I'm doing. So thank you guys.